We had done a few sentences of this section last time, but we'll quickly run through them and then proceed further. In those bright realms are mind's first forward steps. Bright realms, the spiritual mind. He has listed number of aspects of the spiritual mind: depth intelligence, secrecy, magician, arch intelligence, inspiration, imagination, mythology. These are the bright realms. Into that are the first forward steps of our mind. In those bright realms are mind's first forward step. Actually, that is what should happen. Beyond the rational mind, you have to really step into the suprarational regions. Suprarational regions. They have a reality, they have a validity, they have something much deeper, much higher, much profounder kind of understanding of things, and mind must finally move into those realms. Unless you go into those realms, you cannot really go beyond our mind. You cannot really have the Gnostic knowledge of the Gnostic being, supermind. So this is the evolutionary scale which one has to climb beyond that. Ignorant of all, but eager to know all. Ignorant, oh mind. Mind is ignorant of all. Ignorant, tactile, of all. I am, but eager. I am, Pyrrhic. Know all, Spondy. Ignorant of all, but eager to know all. Well, that is a nice positive thing about mind. It may be ignorant, but it has the urge to know things. It has the urge to know things. That is the positive aspect of mind. Its curious, slow inquiry there begins. There, in those bright realms. Ever searching, it grasps its shapes around. Ever it hopes to find out greater things. Eager to know all, therefore hopes to find out greater things. Ardent and golden glade with sunrise fires. What a line. Suddenly the inspiration is different. Ardent, rocky, and golden gleam. I am, with sunrise fires. I am. Ardent and golden, alert. It lives upon invention's world. It lives upon invention's world. So that is the kind of a constant discovery this mind is able to make in those bright realms. Yet, well, that is the positive part of it, but it has its own limitations, it has its own shortcomings. Yet, all it does is on an infant scale. Because the child coming up from ignorance. It is a child coming from ignorance, you see. Thus is on an infant scale, as if the cosmos were a nursery game. Mind, life, the playthings of a titan's babe, as if the cosmos were a nursery game. As one, it works, forbids a mimic fort. That is what people do, the children do on the beaches of sand, you see, on the beaches of the sand. Miraculously stable for a while, made of the sand upon a bank of time. So the discoveries of this mind, the inventions of this mind, they are actually castles of sand. They are there today, tomorrow they will disappear. A wave will come, a tide will come and sweep away all those gains. You see. Made of the sands upon a bank of time, mid and occult eternities, shoreless sea. Well, that is the occult part of the whole working there. made the sands upon a bank of time. Now that is actually in a certain sense reminiscent of what Newton had said. Some of his last words before he died, all the great discoveries of science he had made, how he himself evaluates them. He said that after all, I was a baby, I was a child, an infant boy, playing on the sands of time, on the beaches of time. Today they are there, tomorrow they will disappear. He himself said that kind of thing. In fact, it's a very beautiful quotation I got here. I will read that thing, what Newton said about his own achievements. He says, a little before he died, he said, I do not know what I may appear to the world. Well, a marvel mind voyaging to strange seas of thought alone. That is what Wordsworth speaks of Newton. Newton, he speaks, the statue of Newton is there in Cambridge University, statue in a marble, and Wordsworth says, a marvel mind voyaging through strange seas of thought alone. And it's one of the most beautiful lines, voyaging through strange seas of thought alone. Well, that is what the world does think, but how does he himself think of his own work? Newton, I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore and diverting myself in now and then, finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. The great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. Mid an awkward eternity's shoreless sea, you see. Great ocean of truth, awkward sea, eternity, shoreless sea, lay all undiscovered before me. Well, Savitri himself was from Cambridge and Newton's statue was there. He was definitely aware of what Newton had said, and that line is definitely reminiscent of Newton's last words. Mid an awkward eternity's shoreless sea, a small keen instrument. This mind is after all a small instrument of whose? Of that great power, fusions. Fusion. We have seen that power fusions earlier also. Mind is the instrument of fusion. Chose an arduous pastime, passionately pursues. A small keen instrument, the great fusions choose. An arduous pastime, passionately pursues. Well, grammatically, here you got fusions chose, you got passionately pursues. So you have to understand that the line is an arduous pastime, passionately she pursues. She chose and she pursues. Now, there is a little bit of an editorial problem. What we have here is a small keen instrument. Now, this A has been made in the revised edition as this. This small, instead of keen, it is first. This small first instrument is what we have got in the revised edition. This small first instrument, the great fusions chose in the revised edition. The reason given is this and first are on a chit pad in Shivendra's own handwriting. In Shivendra's own handwriting. This and first are on a chit pad sheet in his own handwriting, manuscript. Now, Nirodharan copied them as was on the chit pad. This small first instrument he copied correctly. At the time of dictation, she happened to change this to A and first to key. When the ledger was being read out, when it was being revised, then he changed in the process this and first to A and keen. So now these people, instead of going by what is dictated, are sticking to what is there in the manuscript. I am not seeing much of a logic in that. I don't see, because after all he has dictated himself a small cane, and it sounds better also. A small cane instrument instead of this small first instrument. It doesn't sound very well, you see. The small cane instrument. Cane has a definiteness, you see. Cane instrument, the great musicians chose. See, great musicians choosing first instrument is not a very felicitous phrase. An arduous pastime passionately pursued. To teach, why does she pursue? To teach ignorance is her difficult charge. Her task is to educate ignorance, to bring knowledge to ignorance. To teach ignorance is a difficult charge. It's really a difficult charge. I mean, you don't know if the fellow is a dumb fellow, how do you make him wise? You can't make him wise at all. It's a real difficult task, you see. Dumb chap remains dumb only. You see, something has to awaken him. But that is why this is a difficult task that Puritans has undertaken. After all, you can't keep ignorance as it is. It has to become less and less. It has to finally turn into knowledge. The whole process of transformation has to go on, and that is a real difficult task for Puritans to do, you see. To teach ignorance is a difficult charge. Her thought starts from an original nascent void. See, she is going all the way down, below ignorance, down below even inconscience. She is going down below even inconscience. First you have got the void, then you have got inconscience, then you have got ignorance. So these are the kind of early evolutionary stages. So she is going down that fusion, and she is doing a wonderful job, a very big job in fact. You see. Her thought starts from an original nascent void, and what she teaches, she herself must learn. Obviously, how things have to be worked out, that is how we have to understand. Arousing knowledge from its sleepy lair. Knowledge is there, supermind is there, but in its sleepy lair. It is aroused, it has to wake up, you see. So that is the great job. That is why, you see, these Puritans, Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Puritans, Kriya Shakti, P is capital, great power. She is now handling something right at the bottom of the thing, you see. Arousing knowledge from a sleepy lair, for knowledge comes not to us as a guest. Well, it doesn't walk in like a guest. See, it has to be kind of woken up, it has to be prompted, it has to be stirred up, it has to be urged to come out, you see. For knowledge comes not to us as a guest. Called into a chamber from the outer world. Well, knowledge comes to us as a guest, and the guest is invited, called into our chamber. He is coming, and then you are inviting him into our chamber. Called into our chamber from the outer world. A friend and inmate of our secret self. That knowledge is our secret self. strength of our secret self deep within us. It hid behind our minds and fell asleep. That knowledge, it hid behind our mind and fell asleep and slowly wakes beneath the glows of life. Beneath the glows of life. Now this is definitely a mistake. What is there in the manuscript is blows and not glows. B-L-O-S, B-L-O-W is blows. Blows. But then somehow it became glows. It's definitely a mistake. So actually the true line should be, and slowly wakes beneath the blows of life. And slowly wakes beneath the blows of life. Perfect iambic line. And see the alliteration, then be alliteration. Slowly beneath the blows of life. Liquidity sound life. The mighty demon lies unshaped within. The demon, the desire, the will, the power. This is the Socratic demon, the desire, the urge. It is not the demon of the ordinary kind, it is Socratic demon, you see. The urge is something within us which prompts us to do things. The mighty demon lies unshaped. Who is this mighty demon? That knowledge. Mighty demon lies unshaped within. So she is going to give him shape. Lies unshaped within. To evoke, to give it from his nature's star. Now Puissance is working here now as nature, Prakriti. And Prakriti is giving to this knowledge a shape, a top. Now this line, to evoke, to give it form, is nature's task. What we have got here is task. In the manuscript, it is work. In the manuscript, it is work. So the revised edition goes to the manuscript works. But in the final dictated version, it is task. I think task is better than works here. To evoke, to give it form is nature's work. Now, nature's task. Nature's task. It has to be nature's task. All with the chaos of the true and false. Well, this knowledge has become now true and false. And the task of nature is to give it a form. All with the chaos of the true and false. Now this line, all was, if you scan it in a routine manner, then all was talking a chaos of I am, Pyrrhic of the true I am and false I am. So it will be Trochee, then I am, Pyrrhic, I am. But the better reading of this line will be if you take this thing as a headless line. All was a chaos. All, so the all gives full content. All was, see it gives kind of diluted. But if you make it monosyllabic, all as a foot, all was a chaos of the true and false. A headless line sounds better, more emphatic, drives the point home more forcefully as a headless line. You follow, understood? Headless line. Headless line means a single syllable, a stressed single syllable treated as an I am at the beginning of a line. At the beginning of a line. It is called a headless line. So this is a very good example of a headless line. All was a chaos of the true and false. And almost a monosyllabic line, you see. Mind sought amid deep mist of nation, It looked within itself, but saw not God. Well, that is beyond the limits of mind. After all, mind is a product of ignorance. Mind is a product of, how can ignorance see God? How can ignorance? It may strive, it may struggle, it may make effort and all that kind of a thing, but it cannot see God. Ignorance cannot see. It will be very contradictory in fact. It looked within itself, but saw not God. A perfect iambic line again. You see. A material interim diplomacy denied the truth that transient truth might live and hid the deity in creed and guess, that the world ignorance might grow slowly wise. What is diplomacy? The diplomacy is that the world ignorance must grow slowly wise. How? By allowing truth to live as transient truth, passing truth. That is what the mind is doing. A material diplomacy, it is a practical diplomacy, a kind of a working out details of certain things on the material plane, you see, on the physical plane, you see. A material, whose diplomacy is it? Who is doing that diplomacy? The superintelligence, supermind itself. A material interim diplomacy deny the truth. So it is purposely denying the truth to mind. So mind cannot know God, obviously. If mind itself is denied by that supreme mind, supermind, then how can mind know God? But it is purposely doing it. Deny the truth. For what purpose? That the transient truth might live. Otherwise they have no pleasure at all, you see. In other words, there is a certain kind of pragmatism in having transient truth. Pragmatism. It is by that process, slowly, things will start building up to a higher level and consolidate themselves at a higher level. Deny the truth, the transient truth might live and hid the deity in creed and guess. Well, that is what we have done. We have rites and traditions and rituals and all those kind of things this year. All these pujas, archanas, we have done elaborate those things like that, you see. And hid the deity. If you are hiding the deity, how can mind know God? It has been purposely done so, you see, for a certain purpose. That the world ignorance might grow slowly wise. Jagat Ajnana, world ignorance, vast ignorance, cosmic ignorance, Jagat Ajnana. It has to slowly acquire wisdom, acquire knowledge, acquire understanding of things, you see. This was the imbroglio, this was the entanglement made by sovereign mind. Now he is defining whose diplomacy it is, of the sovereign mind, of supermind. This was the imbroglio made by sovereign mind, looking from a gleam rich into the night. Supermind is there and is looking from the overmind down below. Supermind is there, gleam rich, that is overmind, into the night, down below, into ignorance, you see. So it is the diplomacy of this sovereign mind which allows this transient truth to live. Mind is given that permission, so to say. Naturally, mind being in that position with those limitations cannot know God, cannot know deity, cannot know truth. But it has a purpose to play in the scheme of things. Looking from a gleam rich over mind, into the night, in its first tampering with inconscience, is of sovereign mind, its first tampering with inconscience, its alien dusk baffles her luminous eye of that presence, of that nature. Its alien dusk baffles her luminous eye. Her rapid hand must learn a cautious zeal. Cautious zeal. She wants to do things quickly, But then all these things have to go in a very definite manner, slowly, so that every aspect is taken care of. That is the whole idea. Cautious zeal, only a slow advance the earth can bear. Only a slow advance. If the supermind is suddenly to come here, the whole thing will get crushed, simply get crushed. Nothing will survive. Nor matter, nor night, nor life, nothing will survive if suddenly. So you have to kind of build up all these things, layer by layer. Matter has to be awoken to a certain extent. Life has to play its own game, prepare matter. Then life having prepared matter, mind has to prepare that thing further. When that kind of a building up is there, when mind is now moving towards brighter run of depth intelligence, secrecy, mythology, inspiration, intuition, then mythology, then things are kind of built up like that. So in order the whole process of building up is the evolutionary aspect of it. Only that is a slow process. The spiritual mind has to come and earth can bear, yet was her strength unlike the unseen earth. Her strength, one who is working in the fusion, compelled to handle makeshift instrument invented by the life force and the flesh. Life force, prana shakti and flesh, they have to work with it. Earth all perceives through doubtful images. Obviously, because earth doesn't have the full knowledge of things. All perceives through doubtful images. All she conceives in hazardous jets of sight, small lights kindled by touches of groping thought. Small lights, that is spontaneous, kindled, talking by touch. I am. Of grow and apace thought. I am. So you have got spontaneous, you have got talking, then you have got I am, then you have got anapis, you have got I am. Small lights kindled by touches of groping thought. What a beautiful rhythm also is this line. Small lights kindled, L, small lights kindled by touches of groping. So it is groping thought, the searching thought, which is really kindling the small little light, these candle lights of ours. Incapable of the soul's direct in look. She sees by spasm and so does knowledge scrap. So does knowledge scraps. So the scraps are there, pieces are there, junk pieces are there, and he's sorting them by spasm, makes truth the slave girl of her indigence, expelling nature's mystic unity, cuts into quantum and mass, the moving all, quantum and mass, the moving all, the unmoving of, cuts in, spontaneous, to quant, I am, and Vivek, mass, anapis, the move, I am, in all I am. She takes for measuring rod her ignorance, that nature, in her own domain, a pontiff and a seer, that greater power with her half-reason son, wrought within limits, but possess her field. She knew by a privilege of thinking full and claimed an infant sovereignty of sight. That is how things started appearing to her because of this thing. So that's the interim diplomacy allowing all this to happen. In her eyes, however, darkly fringed, was lit the archangel gaze. See, that's the beauty of it. What did she see? The archangel gaze. One who is closest to God is angel gaze. Who knows inspired his acts and shapes the world in its far-seeing flame. So this is a great archangel, far-seeing flame. This archangel is with a far-seeing flame. So, actually what we have got here is earth all perceives, she conceives, she sees, she takes in her domain. The greater power, where is that greater power? Yeah, that greater power, that is fusions, who is working all along, the greater power, the aspect of great fusions, greater power, with half reasons and wrought within limits, but possessed her field. She knew by privilege of thinking force and claimed all infinite sovereignty of sight. In her eyes, however darkly fringed, was lit the archangel's gaze into who knows inspired his who knows inspired his I'm sorry, the archangel's gaze who knows inspired his acts and shapes a world in its passing flame. His acts, archangels. In her own realm, that presence. And archangel gaze in who knows inspired his act. Archangel gaze inspired his own acts. Archangel inspired his own acts. And shapes a world. He shapes a world. It is passing flame. Passing flame. In her own realm, she stumbles not, nor fails. She, of course, stands for that again fusion, that great power, but moves in boundaries of subtle power, across which mind can step towards the sun. So that is the interim diplomacy, part of the interim diplomacy, across which mind can step towards the sun. Means mind entering into spiritual regions. Step towards the sun, not to the sun, towards the sun.
But this is not nature, no?
A candidate for a high suzerainty. A passage she cut through from night to light. From night to light. More ignorance becoming less ignorance. That is what she has done, using this candidate, this mind, and search for an ungrasped omniscience. Your idea is to have full knowledge, omniscience completely. She is searching with the help of the mind. Of course, mind cannot achieve that, but that is the whole search, that is the mystery. A passage she cut from night to light, she, that great fusions, and in search of omniscience, that is ungrasped by mind. And omniscience ungrasped by mind. It cannot be grasped by mind at all. It can be grasped only by supermind. Well, so this is the kind of an introduction. In between, first he has described the work of the spirit of the world, and then is coming to, he has kind of introduced mind. Now he is going to go into the details of this mind. He has introduced, the word spirit is there, then how mind has appeared in search of knowledge, seeking spiritual knowledge. And now what that mind is, what is its character, this is what we are going to see in the next section, 68. It's a long section, 109 sentences, 476 lines, 470, almost 500 lines, 3,555 words. It's a long section. So be prepared for that. So he is going to give all he's going to give all the details about mind, what our mind is after all, you see. This is one of the longest sections in Savitri. Actually, what we are going to say, are three grades of mind. Three grades of mind. The first is what he calls the pygmy thought. Pygmy thought, physical mind, 68.2. Pygmy thought, 68.2. After pygmy thought is rash intelligence. Rash intelligence, desire mind, life mind, rash intelligent mind, 68.16. And the third one is squat guarded reason. Squat guarded reason, mental mind. So you have got the physical mind, you have got the life mind, you have got the mental mind. Squat guarded reason, 68.36. Now beyond these three,
Vital life is the mental life. Vital is life mind.
the vital desire, vital mind, that is rash intelligence.
Desire mind. Desire.
Rash intelligence 68.16. 68.16.
1, 6. Yeah, it says. Okay, in the mental mind.
And then you got squat guarded reason. Come the
Mental mind is the reason.
see first you got thought, then you got intelligence, then you got reason.
Yeah. Thought, intelligence,
You have got small thought, you have got intelligence.
yes.
Intelligence is governed by life forces. And then you have got reason.
Mental mind is the reason.
Reason comes 68.36. Now, beyond these three grades of mind, we have got in the next section 69.1, we have got two demons. Sun gate demon,
Yeah, that is the funny one.
two demons.
Who are these demons?
Two demons. First demon is life thought,
Okay, wait.
and the second demon is thought mind.
Okay, wait.
Life thought and thought mind.
69, what's
69.1.
life thought? And
Life thought and thought mind.
life thought and thought.
Life thought, he calls it life thought. And thought mind. These are angels, demons, archangels, sun gaze demon. They are looking at the sun. So this is the general scheme of this section. He is going to describe three-body trinity. Three-body trinity, thought, intelligence, reason. That is the trinity of mind.
Can you repeat?
Three-body, thought,
Thought, intelligence.
intelligence, and reason.
Thought, intelligence, and reason. Yeah.
So this is the trinity.
These are the three grades, no?
You see, he says pygmy.
Yeah, but they are what? They are the three grades?
Pygmy thought, he calls it pygmy thought. Pygmy thought, rash intelligence, and squat godhead reason.
It is Chuck.
Yeah,
Like he has really not much words.
godhead reason.
What about physical mind? Yeah. What about physical mind, vital mind?
She's talking of mind proper now. He has come down to mind proper now. He has already described those things already. He has already described those things. Now in the mind proper, these are the three grades of mind. Mind corresponding to the physical, mind corresponding to the life force, vital, life corresponding to mind proper, mind corresponding to the physical, that is the first part of the trinity. Mind corresponding to life force is the second part. Mind corresponding to the mental part is the third aspect. Mental mind, that is reason. Life mind, that is intelligence, rash intelligence. And the physical mind, stupidity, rigidity, the incapability of changing, that is the physical mind. These are the grades of mind proper. It is not a physical mind. It is mind itself in the having that physical character of inertia, of stupidity, of dullness, dumb mind. You can say.
I know somebody.
Dumb mind, see. You see. So that is the Trinity. Three-bodied, you
Why
see.
are there demons?
So mind itself has.
Why are there demons?
They're not. Well, this is how. See, because you have to by slow diplomacy, you have to build up this thing gradually like that.
It's a demon. No. Yes, diamond.
A mind has to work with this.
It's not a demon.
69.1.
Yeah, but it's not demon. It's not.
No, it's called
Diamond is an inner
Diamond.
voice.
It's the inner.
Like Socrates.
It's not the same word.
Diamond is not demon.
Eh?
Diamond is not demon.
No.
No, it's not demon. It's not
What is
demon.
Basically, he is describing the three grades of mind.
Yeah, that I understand.
Three grades of mind. The first mind corresponding to the physical mind.
Yeah.
The second mind corresponding to the life mind. The desire, rash intelligence. He calls it rash intelligence, you see. Then the third one he calls it quite guarded reason, stupid, sticking to his own way of doing things like that, is reason.
Yeah, but in 69.1, there are two sun-gazed demons.
Diamond, not demon.
It's written here, demon.
Reason 68.36.
69.1.
68.36. That is reason part. So he will describe reason, he will describe intelligence, he will describe this pygmy thought.
Diamond. It's
We
like
don't
Socrates.
pronounce it
Socrates
demon.
has a diamond, an inner voice guiding him.
An inner
He
voice.
called it a diamond.
And some English.
But diamond is not a demon.
Demon is
It's not a
Demon, yeah,
It's not a
demons. Normally
it's
they're.
not a devil.
It's not a
It's not
devil.
the devil.
No, I'm not saying it's a
You can
demon.
ask.
But normally, that's what I'm
Just
trying
ask.
to, but you're all talking.
So he has paraphrased the whole section by saying three-bodied trinity. And the three-bodied trinity he is now going to describe one by one. To start with, he is going to say about the pygmy thought. He says, first, smallest of the three, of this three body, but strong of limb, very rigid, very firm, a slow brow with a square and heavy jowl. See, that is the character of that person, that jowl. A pygmy thought, needing to live in bounds. It must live in bounds. It cannot live in largeness. Forever stooped to hammer fact and form. That is the character of the pygmy thought, of the physical mind. It keeps on hammering. Will this happen? Will this happen? Will this happen? Keeps on asking that kind of question constantly, you see. First of this trinity, first, smallest of the three, the strong of limb. First, small. This is spondy. Second foot is epiric. Less of the three, but strong of limb. So you got a spondy and then epiric and I am 3am. First, smallest of the three, but strong of limb. In other words, the other people, other two, they are not so strong in the limbs, you see. A low brow with a square and heavy jowl, a pygmy thought, needing to live in bound, forever stoop to hammer fact and form, absorbed and cabined in external sight, it takes a stand on nature's solid base. Well, that is a good thing. It is a good thing because whatever it wants to learn, it wants to make it firm, definite, firm. Take the stand on nature's solid base. A technician admirable. So this is the pygmy thought. He is a technician admirable. A thinker crude. Well, It doesn't have the wideness, suppleness, the subtlety of thought, of reason. Admirable, a thinker crude, a riveter of life to have its grooves. That is the whole idea of the pygmy thought, the physical mind. He is a riveter to grooves, to habits. It gets stuck with habits. Repetitive kind of thinking. You don't want to come out of the museum. A riveter of life to habits grooves, obedient to gross matters, tyranny. Well, that is physical mind. Obedient to gross matters, tyranny. A prisoner of the molds in which it works. It has made molds, but it is a prisoner in its own molds. What it has made. It binds itself by what itself creates. Because it wants to have kind of firmness. It does not want allowed to go away from that. It means you can grasp something and you want to hold on to that grasp, you see. So you don't allow any other ideas, any other notions to come and interfere you and disturb you at all. You shut them off completely from you, see. A prisoner of the molds in which it was. Well, this is what happens. You have formulated certain ideas and you remain stuck with those ideas. You don't allow other possibilities to enter you at all. That is physical mind. That is physical mind. A prisoner of the molds in which it was. It binds itself by what itself creates. A slave, a fixed mass of absolute rules. So whatever it has made, it becomes its own slave of rules. It sees as law the habits of the world. The habits of the world are laws. What is the habit of the world? To be lazy, to be stupid, to be ignorant. These are the habits of the world. And you see them as there is a law. That laziness is a law. The stupidity is a law. Mortality is a law. Death is a law. It sees that. It does not see that the law can be changed. It does not see that the law. To die is a law of nature. It is a habit of nature. The habit of man is to die. Is to die. The habit of man is to die. So that is what the pygmy mind will say, look, you are bound to die. It does not allow you to change that habit at all. That the habits can be changed is not in its purview. Habits can. It sees the law as law the habits of the world. It sees the truth, the habits of the mind. Well, the habits of the mind. Well, this must be true. Capitalism is the truth. This is the truth. That is the truth. All isms are truths. It sees that thing. It sees the truth, the habits of the mind in its realm of concrete images and events, turning in a worn circle of idioms and ever repeating old familiar acts. It lives content with the common and the known. It is happy what it has. It is content with that. It does not want to change them at all. See. So that kind of an inertia is there in mind. That inertia comes because of its physical character. That inertia comes because of its physical character. That is why the physical mind is a pygmy thought, small thought, little thought only. It loved the old ground that was its dwelling place. It will not change that thing. Old ground, that there can be new ground, new possibilities can open out, it doesn't bother. Abhorring change as an audacious sin. Change because it persists in habit. So any change will be a sin for it. Any change will be a sin for it. Abhorring change as an audacious sin, distrustful of each new discovery. Only it advances step by careful step. That is his character. There is a kind of firmness, the steps which are taken, there is sort of firmness it is achieved, but then it excludes all the other possibilities. The suppleness is not there. Only it advances by careful steps and fears as if a deadly abyss, the unknown, that it is going to leap into the abyss, into the cavern. into the unknown, which is not known, into the darkness. A prudent treasurer of his ignorance. Therefore, he is a prudent treasurer of what? Of ignorance. Treasurer of ignorance. Prudent treasurer. That is the character of sticking to what you have. The inertial aspect of physical mind. Inertial aspect of physical mind. A prudent treasurer of his ignorance. It is gaining something from ignorance and it is happy with ignorance and it persists to live in ignorance. It strains from adventure, blinks at glorious hope, blinks at glorious hope. Well, in other words, the life force, it does not look into the consequences, that is not there with it. Look before leap, that is not applicable for life. Life lives and then looks into things you see. So here it keeps on looking before it leaps into anything. It strains from adventure, blinks at glorious hope, preferring a safe foothold upon things to the dangerous joy of wideness and of height. Well, this is the character of the physical nature, physical mind, the inertial aspect of it. The world's slow impressions on his laboring mind, tardy imprints almost indelible, increase their value by their poverty. What is sentence? By their poverty, they increase their value. Poverty is there, but how they increase the value? Because whatever has been gained is kind of a consolidated, is firm. It does not want to go away from that thing, but whatever it has gained, it wants to hold on. That is how it has increased the value. That is how it has increased the value. Increase the value by the poverty. The old sure memories are its capital stock. Only what sense can grasp seems absolute. External fact, it figures as sole truth. Wisdom identifies with the earthward look. This look is on you. Well, that is a nice thing also. Don't forget earth. It is holding on there. Wisdom identifies with the earthward look. And things long down and actions always done are to its clinging hold, a balustrade. So you have got a balcony and a balustrade and you are safe in that balustrade, you see. See, what a picture. To its clinging hold, a balustrade of safety on the perilous stair of time. Well, it holds on to that thing. I had gained something, let me hold on to that thing. So that balustrade is the safety place for it, you see. Heaven trust to it are the established ancient ways. Heaven trust to it are the established ancient ways. Immutable laws man has no right to change. Immutable law. Death is a law and man cannot change that law. Has no right to change that law. Falsehood is a law. Man cannot change that law. Ignorance, evil, their laws, you cannot change. Immutable laws. Man has no right to change. A sacred legacy from the great dead past. So this is the heritage we are carrying from the past. A sacred legacy from the great dead past. Or the one road that God has made for life. Or the one road that God has made for life. Absolutely monosyllabic line. Or the talkie. One road, spondy, that God has made for life. Or the, it's not other. Or the one road. Talkie, spondy. A firm shape of nature, never to be changed. Part of the huge routine of the universe. Well, so fixity is the character of this mind. Fixity. Remain what you have already gained. The law of inertia is very powerful here. Don't change. A smile from the preserver of the world. What a line. A smile from the preserver of the world. Preserver of the world. Who is the preserver of the world? Vishnu. According to Indian mythology, Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the sustainer or preserver, and Shiva is the destroyer of past change. A smile from the preserver, so it is Vishnu's smile. It is Vishnu's smile. A smile from the preserver, sent down of all this guardian mind to earth. Guardian mind, you see, it is a smile, okay, my little boy, go to the world, you see. Sent down of all this guardian mind, guardian, it is that which is holding on to things, it is that which is preserving. The character of preserving is the character of the physical mind, and that is the smile of Vishnu. Mind, guardian mind to earth, that all might stand in their fixed, chainless type, and from the secular posture never move. Well, that is the work of Vishnu himself. He has sent to the purpose whatever has been gained in this chaos, in these nations, in this ignorance, whatever has been gained as a positive thing, that should be preserved, that should be held on. They should be held on, you see. One sage is suffering faithful to his task. Tireless in an assigned traditions round. Tireless in an assigned traditions round. You keep on repeating tradition. It decayed and crumbling offices of time. It keeps close guard in front of customs wall. Or in an ancient night's dim environment. Or in an ancient night dim environment. What a line this one. You see, the line we scan here, or in, okay, an end, I am, ancient night, I am, dim, end, viran, dim, end, viran. See, dim, end, viran. It is viran. So you have got here dim, end, traki. Means you have got the last 2 feet as trakis. Very unusual kind of a food combination. Or an ancient night, dim, environ. You can scan it like that, or an which you will have 3 trakis, or in an ancient night, dim, and virans. Like that. Otherwise, you can also scan it as a headless line. A headless line looks perhaps better. Or in an ancient night. Or in an ancient night. The first word, or headless, I am. In an end and a best. Nights, dim, and viran, traki. This is a very peculiar kind of a poetic construction, you see. Or in an ancient night, dim environment. Apart from that, see the N alliteration. In an ancient night, and we run. So many N's are coming in one line, you see. It dozes on a little courtyard stones. So it is lying in a courtyard stone and barks at every unfamiliar light, like a dog, barks at every light, as at a foe who would break up his home. So that is what it preserves. The smile of Vishnu is there to preserve, as a foe who breaks up his home, a watchdog of the spirit's sense-raid house. Spirit's sense-raid. That is what we are governed by sense-raid. Against intruders from the invisible. Let them not come. I got something, let me guard that thing. Who are these invisibles? I don't know. So I will dismiss them off completely. Again, introduce from the invisible, nourished on scraps of life and matter's bones. This was God in its kennel of objective certitude. Objective certitude. Well, that is what mind sees, objective certitude. It believes only in the objective part of it. Subjective is not there at all completely, you see. Now this whole description or in an ancient night, dim environ, it dozes on a little courtyard stone and bars at every unfamiliar line, as at a foe who'd break up its home. A watchdog with the spirit's sense read house, again introduced from the invisible, nourished on scraps of life and matter's bones, in its kennel of objective certitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines describing this watchdog. 8 lines describing. Now, such elaborate simile with full detail is called a Homeric simile. So this is one very good example of Homeric simile in Savitri. You are describing with a simile in a very detailed, leisurely kind of a manner every aspect of it, you see. So this is an elaborate Homeric simile, one of the rarest instances of Homeric similes in Savitri. In an ancient night, dim environment, it dozes the dog on a little courtyard stones. You see, Homeric simile. See, this is what in Homer's Odyssey, Homer is rather alien. Iliad, he describes a particular scene in a very great detailed manner as a simile. In a great detailed manner as a simile. So this is one of the descriptions of Homeric simile. We have very rare instances in Matthew Arnold's Sohrab and Rustum. You have got long similes. In Matthew Arnold's Sohrab and Rustum. You heard of his poem, Sohrab and Rustum? Matthew Arnold's poem, very famous poem, Sohrab and Rustum. He describes in great detail a particular scene, battlefield or whatever it is, with great elaborate kind of similes like that, extended similes. So this is one of the rarest examples in an epic having Homeric similes. And yet behind it stands a cosmic mind. Well, because it has been kind of purposely designed that way. The cosmic mind, that fusions, is there working behind it. A measured greatness keeps its vaster plan. A measured greatness keeps its vaster, its of that greatness. That greatness is keeping its vaster plan behind its pygmy mind. Pygmy mind has a purpose to serve, and therefore it is allowing it to stay. A measured greatness. Measured mind. Mind is a measurer. Bring small bits into measures. Mind is a measure. Measured greatness. Mind keeps its vaster plan. A fathomless sameness rhythm, the trade of life. The stars scale its orbits follow inner space. A million species follow one mute law. One mute law. A million species follow one mute law. What is that mute law? Go in a certain groove, in a certain manner, definite manner. You don't change. Earth is trapped in a groove. It cannot but go there. You may call it gravitational force or whatever it be, but it is kind of locked in that groove. It cannot change at all. At a deeper level, in a little different sense, mute, follow one mute law, the law of death in life. It has to follow the law of death in life. It cannot change. A huge inertness with the world's defense. Inertness, that is the whole character. Inertness, physical mind, he is describing the physical mind. A huge inertness with the world's defense. Even in change is treasured chainlessness. Into inertia, revolution, change. So you are moving, but finally you have inertia. In a new dress, the old resumes the role. It goes on. You don't change your habit, your nature. You may change your clothes, your dress, but then you are ultimately always the same person. In a new dress, the old resumes its role. The energy acts. The stable is seal. Energy, movement, force is acting. But stable is seal. Remain firm what it is. Means he is again emphasizing the very nature of the physical mind. To be what it is. To remain. That is the part of the interim diplomacy. That this kind of a task has been given to this mind and it sticks to that mind. So it is very appropriate that it should be so. The energy acts, the stable is still on Shiva's breast is stayed the enormous dance. Energy, Shakti, dancing, Kali. Her dance is stayed on Shiva's breast, stabilized. Means what is the stable? Shiva's breast. On Shiva's breast, stayed the enormous dance. So you had the smile of the preserver of the worlds, and the smile of the preserved world is stabilized on Shiva's breast. Energy acts and stable. So this is the description of the pygmy thought. 14 sentences. Shall we go with that next? We'll do some of them. The cosmic mind on the imperturbable calm of Shiva. On Shiva's breast is stayed the enormous dance. The cosmic mind, energy, on the imperturbable calm of Shiva. Shiva's breast is what? Imperturbable calm. That is Shiva's breast. Calm. Shiva's breast. Imperturbable calm of Shiva. Now, we have got a paragraph here describing the second part of the Trinity. The second part deals with the rational intelligence, the desire mind, the vital mind. A fiery spirit came. Naturally, against that rigidity, now you have got a fiery spirit came next of the three. And who is this fiery spirit? A hunchback rider of the red wild ass. Hunchback rider of the red wild ass. A rash intelligence leaped down lineman from the great mystic flame that reigned the world, and with his dire edge is the being's heart. What a difficult, very awkward description. Hunchback rider, okay, I can understand. Of the wild, red wild ass. A rash intelligence. This is what we are going to see now. Rash intelligence, because the life force is there. Impetuous. Uncontrollable. Without worrying about the consequences, what is going to happen. That is the idea of the rashness. Life force is like that. It throws into action irrespective of the consequences it is going to meet. Leave down lineman from the great mystic flame from that fusions, from that power, from the supermind himself, the great mystic flame from the supermind that reigned the world, and with a dire edge eats at being's heart. Well, it is going to plunge into. Now, we have got here a rash intelligence leap down lion made. This line. A rash I am legends leaped. Sorry, legends, leaped down. Spondy. And the last word, lion made. Strong, weak, strong. Lion made. That is critic. The last word is critic. Lion made, critic. Leap down, spondy. So spondy followed by critic. It's a very powerful description of flame. In fact, the strength of the voice is there to bring that force and that righteousness. From great mystic flame that ring wild as. Red wild as.
What is this red wild?
Pardon me?
What is this red wild as?
Yeah, we are going to go there. Red wild as. Red wild as. Well, actually, the reference is to Umar Khayyam's Rubaiyat. Umar Khayyam's Rubaiyat.
Ah, Makhaya. Why red?
Wild as.
Poet and philosopher.
Wild as.
Why?
I will read his. I will read his Rubai. I will read his Rubaiyat. Wild as. They say the lion and the lizard keep. He says, I am reading his Rubaiyat. They say the lion and the lizard keep the courts where Jamshid gloried and drank deep. Jamshid, Persian king, Jamshid drank, gloried and drank deep. And Bairam, that great hunter, the wild ass. And Bairam, that great hunter, the wild ass, stamps over the head and he lies fast asleep. Finally, what happens to him? He stands over his head and falls down below. Stands over his head and he lies fast asleep. He is dead. Bairam is dead. Wild as rational. That is what Dhirubhaya. So the reference here is actually wild ass is from this Rubaiyat. But wild ass is also a technical term. A kind of an ass is there and it is red also in color. If you see the internet, you will see his pictures also. Wild ass. But the literary reference here is to Bairam, the wild ass. He stands on his head and lies flat, finally. Lies flat, you see. And with dire edge eats the being's heart. Well, see, my note here says, eventually the animals reign over the ruins of man. See, man is no more there. And who is ruling that place now? Animals. He is lying flat. Eventually the animals reign over the ruins of man. Jamshid, the Persian Sultan, and the ruthless Sasanian sovereign, Jamshid, the sovereign Bairam, lie dead. Finally lie dead in time. While the wild, lowly creatures trample over their graves. Mockery of man's achievement. This is the mockery of man's achievement. This is basically mockery of man's achievement. Eventually the animals reign over the ruins of man. He has done lofty things, but ultimately he is lying dead there in the ground. Jamshid, the Persian Sultan, and the ruthless Samasan, sovereign Bairam lie dead a while. The wild, lowly creatures trample over his funeral. Mockery of man's achievement. A rash intelligence lived down lion man from the great mystic flame that reigned the world, and with his dire age eats at being's heart. Now, mockery. There is a poem by Shelley, sonnet by Shelley, Ozymandias. Ozymandias. Now, Ozymandias, you are going to see what that thing is, Ozymandias. He says, Ozymandias, he was a pharaoh who reigned 1279 to 1213 BC. Ramesses, Pharaoh Ramesses. According to the statue was 157 feet tall. His statue of Ozymandias 57. But now today the statue is broken and lying in sands into pieces. So the glory of the king ultimately it means is sand. That is what the greatness of man's achievement is ultimately going back to the sand, to the dust. This is what he says. Now let us read what Shelley says. I met a traveller from an antique land who said, two vast trunklets of stone, two vast and trunkless legs of stone, 57 feet tall statue, what are lying there, two vast lines, stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sun, a shattered visage lies. So his face is lying at a 57 foot size, two trunks are there, his face is there, lies, whose frown and wrinkled lips and sneer of cold command tell that he sculptured well those passions read. The person who has sculpted his statue, he read his passions very well, what this king is read, which yet survive. Those passions still survive because the stone. Stand on those lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that pegged, and on the pedestal, those words appear. What are the words? My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. So ultimately nothing beside remains. Around the decay of the colossal rock, boundless and bare, the lone and level sand stretch far away. So man's achievements ultimately come to nothing. How that colossal work, what he has done, wrecked, but boundless and bare, the lone and level sand stretch far away. So that is ultimately the work of man. That is very cool. So this hunchback rider or the red wild ass, see, ultimately what it is going to work? It is going to lie in sand. It will achieve something. Rational intelligence will achieve something. A mighty 57 feet statue will be built, but ultimately it will remain into pieces in the sand of time. While a rash intelligence leaped down, lion man, at the same time, lion man, what a critic, what a phrase, lion man, from the great mystic flame that reigns the world, where this dire edge is at being, then sprang the burning vision of desire. Because it's the life mind, so there is a vision of desire. That's the character of life, desire, the will to be, to achieve something. 1,000 shapes it wore, took numberless names, in need of multitude and uncertainty, pricks it forever to pursue the one on countless roads across the vast of time, through circuits of unending difference. It burns all breasts with an ambiguous fire. It burns all breasts with an ambiguous fire. That is the rash intelligence, burns with ambiguous fire. It has kindled something in his bed, but the fire, it is ambiguous fire, not clear. So that is what we are going to see now next time about the rational intelligence, and then we see the spot-potted reason also. See, 24th December.
This is difficult text. This is difficult.
This is heavy, no?
I find this difficult.
Yeah. See how much pain he has taken to detail out every little bit of it. Every little bit of it, how much pain, writing each and every aspect of it, in every detail. Savitri is a work of great labor in a certain sense, you see. And he has made draft after draft to give a proper final shape like that, you see. In spite of the poverty of time.